Hello everybody, my name is Gaie, licensed real estate agent.
My name is Mr. James Bollietv.
Hi, my name is Bollietv.
And welcome to Bollitv. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Once again, welcome to Bollitv. Today, I'm visiting a little brother of mine. Today's interview, I'm telling you, I know you all have heard about the housing market, and I know some of you trying to get houses. Some of you been trying, some of you don't know the process. Today now, I sit down with a Realtor. This is another educational video. But before we can introduce our guests, I would just like to say we are going to be asking for your undivided attention as we dive into this interview today. My brother, how you doing? Introduce yourself to my audience or to Bollitv audience, and tell us a little bit about yourself before we can proceed with this interview.
Yes, thank
and
you
make
so
sure
much.
I know I said I ask you sometimes some people get confused. Talk to the camera because you're basically talking to your people and selling your people. So I will ask the question and you see me looking at the camera. So once again, welcome to Bollitv. My brother, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Hello everybody, my name is Gaie. I'm a realtor, licensed real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway, Arizona Properties.
Man, Arizona Properties. So you heard it. They want your income from you. You'll hear it, man. Clear. The man said he's a licensed, what? Realtor what?
Licensed real estate agent.
Licensed real estate agent. Wow. Let me ask you, before we can even go any further.
Yeah.
Have you completed many foreclosures on short sales transaction?
Yeah, short sales.
I mean, like foreclosures on short sale transaction, because I know some men who they wanted to just sell the whole quickly.
Yeah.
They were living in California, they were getting expensive on the whole, but the housing market was getting booming yet. They wanted short sale. So I'm asking you now, in Arizona, have you ever had any client here, who and how many, foreclosure short sale transaction have you done?
Yeah, I've had quite a few clients, actually, about 3 of them. 3 of them to be exact. And I can say
talk a little bit loud,
Yeah, I've had about 3 clients now. So far, all of them, though, we were supposed to close, but some people changed their minds. All of them changed their minds, as a matter of fact. But yes, I've had clients that wanted to do so, and then when they thought about it, they're like, you know what? Yeah, I just don't want to go through with it. I want to wait yet.
The reason why I asked the question, we're going to dive into a little later.
Yeah.
But I just got into that because that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
When I was coming out talking to somebody, I'm going to interview a real estate.
Yes.
The person said, but I said, man, but the short sale thing here.
Yes.
Now, what I want you to do, I want you to give my audience a little background here for yourself and how long you've been working the field, if there's any degrees or anything you have in the field, so they can know before we can proceed with the rest of the question, because we will make this an interactive discussion, because we want people to understand it's like a teaching moment, so people can know what they actually coming to hear from you, because a lot of people are interested in buying house this year, next year, or who did not succeed in buying house, and we'll do some clarification here today. So my audience, I'm going to give the floor over to Mr. Guy here so he can do those biography for us.
Yes, so I started off in insurance at State Farm, and I was there for some years. As I was looking at some of my friends then getting into real estate, I was like, you know what, their life is like, they have so much freedom, they're making so much money, and it kind of encouraged me to want to go into it myself. So I went into it. I went to school at the Arizona School of Real Estate and Business, and I passed the school exam after my second try. And then I took my state board test, and I passed that. And now I'm a licensed real estate agent after I applied at the Arizona Department of Real Estate site to get my license. So I've been doing it since December of last year. I started in the investment side of things, actually, the wholesaling investment side of things, just to learn about that side of things, because I actually wanted to be an investor. That's how I started off. I wanted to be an investor, but when I really thought about everything, I'm like, but if I can get my license, then maybe, I can just take care of myself. I can do my own comparisons and everything. They call it the comps, of houses in the area and all that stuff. So I don't have to pay another agent to do so. So That's how when I got my license, and I went to the investment side of things, and I was like, well, weigh my options. Should I stay here or should I just go on the other side where I can help people get into homes and also help them and teach them how to invest into real estate as well themselves. So that's how I was able to come on this side, the retail side, and I ended up with Berkshire Hathaway, and I'm helping people invest in real estate. I'm helping people buy and sell homes, short sales. I know it well, but again, I've had 3 people and they changed their minds after a while, but it was going to be a very quick thing with that because it's an easy process.
I don't know if I heard you clear. How long have you been an agent for now?
I've been an agent since December
Of last year?
of last year.
Because you say you switched to the realtor side.
Yes.
You're into investment.
Yes.
So how long you were an investor for before coming to?
So I was doing the investment real estate for about 2 months. And when I look at the whole thing, I was like, I'm limiting myself. Instead of being on the investor side where I can only just give the houses to the investors, let me go on the side where I can also help people buy and sell homes and then also work with investors as well.
Got you.
Yeah.
So in the total, how many years experience do you have in the whole business of hustling? Reality, all that, yeah.
Let's see, about 6 months.
6 months. So you just
Since
been,
December.
what were you doing before?
I was with State Farm.
Selling insurance.
Yeah.
What type of insurance? Life insurance
No.
or car insurance?
I was a claims adjuster.
Got you.
Auto claims adjuster with State Farm.
Now, we're going to go right into the questions so we can really get, because a lot of people listening and they really want to hear something.
Yeah.
How long do you usually work with buyers for the first viewing to the closing? Normally, let's say I will come to this question, but if a person first time want to buy a home, what are some of the things they first need to know or do before we can go to the next question?
The first thing a person needs to know is your pre-qualification.
Which is
You go to a lender.
Mm-hmm.
They run your background and all that stuff. They check your credit to see like how much you can qualify for, your income. Once you have all that, they'll say, okay, well, you're pre-qualified for this X amount. Let's say $450,000. You're pre-qualified for that. Then you can come to a realtor and say, hey, you know what? I'm pre-qualified for this X amount. Can we start looking for homes in this area? But the thing I like to do when people come to me, I like to sit down first, have a meeting with you. If you say you're trying to buy a house, I'll have to have a meeting with you. We'll have a meeting. I'll let you know the process from that very moment that we sit down until the close of escrow. So that way you can know everything to expect. And if any problems will come up, how I'm going to fix it. So that way the process can be smooth. The fastest we can get things done is about 2.5 to 3 weeks.
So basically what you're trying to tell my audience here is that the first thing to do when you're trying to buy the home is first go to a lender.
Yeah.
So from the lender now, then before you come to a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. You got to see what you can actually qualify for, because the lender will let you know if you're able to buy a home right now or not.
So from what I understood from you, because there were 2 questions to one. So the longer it can take you from usually to work with the buyer to viewing or to closing. Can you tell me that long, because I don't want to misquote you? How long does it take from the time you meet the person, talk to them, viewing or to closing? How long does it normally take you?
It depends on the person, right? So let's say the lenders want like certain information and stuff, documentation, they want you to send some like pay stubs, right? W-2s, all those things. If you can get all of your documents sent in as fast as possible, we can get everything done as fast as possible.
So when the person sent all that to you as fast as possible, so how would you find the right property? Let's say, for example, me, what the process, if I sent everything to you now, how long does it take you to find the right property?
Just like that. Easy.
What is considered the right property now? Are you going by what the person wants, or are you just going by the range the person can qualify in?
I'm going by what they want. I'm going by their range. I'm going by specs, features, and all that stuff that they want in the house. So as soon as you tell me that, I'll go in the system, put everything in there. I will put you on a subscription with me, and I'll just be sending you those houses every day. The one in that you see now that you like, you just let me know. We'll go and view that house. When we view the house, you say you like it, you want to put in offer, it's easy for me to do it just like that.
Okay. So what's the credit score, the lowest or the least credit score that you must have before you even think about saying you want to buy a house?
There's some people who have 550 credit score and they think that they can buy a house, but they can. The only thing is you'll need about 10% down payment to be able to like buy a house.
So the lowest score,
550.
550 you must have
550.
to get a house, but you have to put 10%. So if you don't got 550, you get from 600, let's say, up. What your down payment will be like?
If it's 600, we're still looking at like around the 10% area.
So what area you got to go ahead? I'm sorry.
To be able to qualify for down payment, it depends on the bank too. But also there are some companies, excuse me, there are some companies that will say, okay, I'll give you down payment if you have 600 credit score. I'll give you down payment if you have 615 or 620. But the majority of the banks will say, no, I got to see 640. So 640 is the average.
Okay, so 640. Then what percentage you put that?
Well, it depends on, the percentage that you are capable of putting down, right?
Do they go by what you're capable of putting down, or they just because there are some banks?
No, they just assist you to the max as they can. So let's say, for example, right, I have some money to put down, and then I go and apply for down payment assistance. Well, then because I go apply for down payment assistance, they're not necessarily looking at the type of down payment that I actually have in my bank account, right? Or whatever money I have. That money can go to the earnest deposit, closing clause, all that stuff. And excuse me, my throat is like so dry.
Yeah, water right there.
So they would just look at like, how much that they can help you with. So for example, there's a company called Fairway. Right, Fairway Independent Mortgage. So let's say you go to Fairway and you tell them, say, okay, I have this X amount, but I want for you guys to take care of my down payment, right? Then they'll look at it and say, okay, the maximum with your credit score that we can give you is like 10,000. Okay, I like the 10,000. Yeah.
So, wow. So
that depends on
your credit score.
Your credit score and the bank.
So the higher your credit score is most likely the lowest your down payment? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
saying. As you go up to the 720, then your down payment might decrease.
Yeah, you can put down it also depends on the type of loan that you're getting as well. Okay. So that's FHA, right? Okay. FHA loan, you can put down as little as 3.5%. FHA loan.
What now? Can you explain to my audience? I want you to, because a lot of time people we have this loan we be hearing about it. Explain the difference between the FHA loan and I think they got one called the conventional loan. So how many type of loan do they have anyway for housing?
They have FHA, USDA, conventional, and VA.
Thank you. The VA. So let's start
veterans.
With for the veteran. You got to serve in the military.
Yeah.
All right. And the SD, you said
USD.
What I want for?
That one is for let's say I'm trying to get a ranch or something somewhere out in the rural areas.
For the ranches.
Rural areas.
Far from the city.
Yes. So that
the working burden way down there.
Yes. So places like that, you can get USDA loans for that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to the two main guys for people there, the regular people there who interested in buying houses. Yes. Since now you have educated, what school you should even have first before you can even think about buying a house. Now, with the school now, let's say if I wanted to get for example, of a $500,000 or $600,000 house.
Yeah.
What school range would you recommend that I be?
So depending on again your down payment that you're capable of bringing down, right? So let's say you're trying to bring down 3.5% and stuff.
Of that 600,000.
Of that 600,000.
Now not 3.5% now, but we'll do clarification. The reason I think that hold on to that.
Yeah.
Tell us the difference between the conventional and the FHA. Then we will take it from there and go by the 600,000 and the percentage. Yeah. So what's a conventional loan, by the way?
Conventional loan is the regular mortgage loan. That's the one where it doesn't have the insurance that the federal government can give because of, let's say somebody is unable to put a certain amount of money down, right? So the conventional loan is actually the one where a regular person, You have money to put down everything. You can put down 10, 20%, everything
For
like
the
that.
B-shot,
For the B-shot.
that what conventional loan put in. Which
That's conventional loan. So
what credit score you
FHA
must have for conventional loan?
conventional loan, especially to get a down payment assistance, you gotta have 640 and up.
640 off for down payment assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So with let's say we're going to the conventional, we're going to come to the other one. So with conventional, if it is your first time buying a house, do they have down payment assistance program that anybody who qualifies for conventional loan can use?
If it's your first time buying a house, there are down payment assistance everywhere for first time home buyers. Yes.
And what are some of the processes, or what are some of the companies, for example, maybe just one company that you can go through to get your down payment assistance? Like, for example, if you got a conventional loan where you can look anywhere, and maybe you sold a house because now the house and you want a house for maybe let's say $500,000 to $600,000, right? And you have some down payment, but not enough. Where and you're a first time buyer, where can you go to get that assistance? And what are some of the qualifications?
Fairway Independent Mortgage, Prosperity Mortgage, right? So these are the top two that I would recommend people to go to. They will help you with that.
With the down payment assistance.
Down payment assistance.
Is it like a grant or a loan?
So it's actually a grant.
Okay, so
these are grants. Yeah.
So how you
it would take your interest up a little bit though, if you get the down payment assistance. So let's say like your interest on that mortgage is like 5.6, right? And then you go and get the down payment assistance and everything. It's probably going to take it like another 0.2%.
So is it 5.2? So if it was 5.2, then you go and get.
So it's probably going to take another 0.2%.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, and then what they do is that they pay that lender directly for you to help with the system. This assistant, do they pay your whole down payment down for you, or they get help with some money? Is there a qualification that, or some criteria that they have that you must meet to get a certain amount of money, or does they go by credit score?
With that one, it depends on, again, the bank, the lender. It really depends on them. So that one would be a great question for like the mortgage lenders and all that stuff.
The one that do the down payment assistance program. So as a first time buyer, do you advise to seek down payment assistance first to see how much they can give you, or how do you do that?
As a first time home buyer, I advise save up money to put your own down payment assistance down, and then get an FHA loan, not a conventional, because then that way you can put 3.5% down instead of 10% for the conventional.
Man, so basically what you're trying to tell me now, conventional is different from FHA. What is the FHA loan? Why is it most convenient? Do they have restriction on what type of houses you can choose with that loan?
No.
You can pick any house.
Any house. There's no restriction. You can pick any house. And as a matter of fact, you have the the PMI, is the property mortgage insurance. That the so for example, right, let's say you default on your loan. There's FHA. You default on your loan, right? The government, since they have that insurance on that mortgage, right, they will pay the bank.
Then you owe them.
Then you,
So it's not like that with conventional.
No, it's not like that with conventional. Yeah.
Got you.
So that's how, that's the difference between the conventional and the FHA.
Okay. So the 3% that you were talking about, is it 3% of the total price of the house, or what's the 3% for?
Yeah, the 3% of the total price of the
So any house that you want, the percentage now, the housing market now is 3%.
Yeah.
Wow.
With FHA.
With FHA.
Yes.
So with conventional, how much would be?
You're looking at like 10% now, even 20%.
Wow. Why the difference?
Conventional, again, is for those people who don't really need the assistance, and they have the money.
They have the money.
They can like take care of it themselves. They don't need the government to help back them up to be able to be on top of their payments with the bank. FHA, you have the insurance just in case you default, and you're a first-time home buyer. I'll recommend that every first-time home buyer go with FHA. And instead of getting a down payment assistance, save up money for yourself to put down 3.5%.
Of whatever price of house you want.
Yes.
So any price of house you want, you got to save up money for that amount. Now, this down payment, does that include the honest deposit, all that though, insurance and everything inside? What's the down payment? What does the down payment include?
The down payment is just simply for the house, right? For you to actually get into the loan for that house. But the earnest deposit is so that they can hold that house for you.
Okay.
Yeah. It can range anywhere from 3,000, 5,000, 10, 15,000, 20,000, say. That's just so they can hold a house for you. But that earnest deposit can actually go towards the closing costs.
So hold on, man. Let's stop there. The down payment is different from the closing cost?
Yes.
What is the closing cost then? So because we already understand that people who are following here, we understand that the down payment is if your house costs 700,000,
yeah,
3% with conventional with FHA. But if you go to conventional, you're looking at 10% to 20%, something. It all depends. Yeah. That depends on your credit score.
Your credit score.
Okay. So if the person is going with conventional FHA, we're going to use the same scenario for the conventional, but let's start with FHA first, right? Send that one for we the better then. Yeah. So if a person is going with FHA loan, for example, right?
Yeah.
And they sold a house for 600,000, and they must come up with 3%. Let's just put it at 3%, right? Then again, they have to have a what? Or closing cost.
Closing cost.
So in your experience, a house for $600,000. If I have the 3% of that 600,000, how much do you think my down payment will be? Just estimate, you've been in it for a long time.
Yeah, well, 600,000, 3.5% of that. We're looking at like probably around like 20,000 down.
For just the house?
Down payment.
Oh, your down payment. So you need 20,000 extra plus that 3.5.
So 3.5% for the down payment
of the house.
Now the closing cost, it ranges from anywhere.
So what does the closing cost include?
It includes like all the fees that you got to pay for, let's say,
the appraisal,
like, everything, just different fees here and there, and that can include like, let's say you go and get, that's just a lot that's included in it.
Just an example of the closing cost. So the same thing applies to the FHA, the conventional loan. Nobody help you now. You be done now. So you get your own down payment, and then plus you get your own closing cost. So we estimating between two of them, you have to have at least about to close on anyhow. We're talking about around 50 to 60 G though.
Again, the closing cost
plus
check this out.
Plus the down payment if you put all together.
So your earnest deposit can also go towards the closing cost too. And now on top of that, as the buyer, you actually can get credits, right, from the seller. So let's say, for example, right, the seller didn't pay the house taxes, property taxes, right? So that can be accredited to you, the buyer. So that would be in the closing cost, accredited to you, the buyer. You see what I'm saying? So that is extra money that's coming to you, going towards the home to take care of the closing costs. So the closing cost goes both ways. You see what I'm saying? With the buyer and the seller, but it mostly favors the buyer. The buyers normally get credit in there.
Okay. So we're going to talk about two types of houses here. There are some houses there where people would rather build their house from scratch. And some people will just go buy a house where they already been, people been living inside, and the person decides to sell the house. Which one would you advise a first-time buyer to get into first? Build a house from scratch? Which one is cheaper, to build a house from scratch, or let the first one buy the house where the owner selling or something, or bank selling? What would be your advice to my audience and to your people?
Well, there's two things to the building a house from scratch. So you can go to a new home builder where they've already built a brand new house from scratch, but it's brand new. Nobody's ever lived in it. So technically, you build a house from scratch, right? Or
Well, it's not
if
your
you buy your
design.
own land, it's not your design.
Yeah.
But what you mean is like when you buy your own
Yeah,
land,
you know,
then you
exactly. Well, I mean, build your house from scratch. Now the people build a home, new home, and you move out. You just the first time person who went into that home. The incident I'm talking about, people like say, I won't build my house from scratch.
So it is wiser for people need to buy their own land because land is cheap, right? You're looking at land for like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, say, you know.
How many acres we're talking about? So,
Wow, it depends on the area, right? So if we're looking at the Phoenix metro area, going to like Buckeye, Goodyear here and stuff, you know, we're looking at like, gosh, land to be around 60 to 100K for about 2 acres. It's a lot of money. But then if you're going to places like Maricopa and stuff, then you're looking at land for like $10,000, $20,000 for, geez, I've seen one for like 10 acres, 5 acres, you know, so it just depends like what area.
you go.
There you go. Yeah, so the further,
So
the cheaper.
We're advising that you can build, you must build your house from scratch because the land is cheaper. But
the reason is because check this out. If I get my land, right? Well, first of all, my mortgage on that land is cheap. My monthly mortgage payment is cheap. And then on top of that, if I decide to build, depending on, let's say if I'm trying to build like a 2,500 square foot house,
okay.
it's probably going to cost me about like 200K altogether to build a house from scratch up. So if I get a land for $20,000 and then I build it from scratch for 200,000, that's 220,000 right there. And there are some companies that will be like, hey, you know what? I'll pay you, I mean, you can pay me $50,000 a month to build your house from scratch for six months to a year. You see what I'm saying? So that loan that you got to build your house, right there is going towards that. So your mortgage is cheap, you see. Then by the time you finish building your house, it's already accrued equity.
So while you're building a house, it can be accruing equity at the same time?
It can be accruing equity. So let's say you get a land, right? You break ground that land, that land start accruing equity.
Wow. Because you're developing it.
Because yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now,
it's called an approved plot.
okay.
So improved plot. Yeah.
So can you repeat what you just said? So basically, my people, let me see if we understand Mr. Guy here correctly. Mr. Guy is saying that he will recommend you build your house from scratch. Because from the day you buy that land, the land not too expensive. It depends on which area you go. From the day you buy that land starts to accrue equity on it because you develop it up to the time you finish building your house and you continue from there. So by the time you probably live in the house for 2-3 years, you have already overseen the value of how much you pay. It has become more valuable than what you pay.
Far more valuable.
That's what you say. Now, because the reason why I'm asking for people say, there's one guy will tell my man, don't buy, you're telling one of my friends, don't go build house from scratch. There's a lot of things because they buy the virgin land. You got to pay for any kind of socket you want inside there. Everything by the time they add it, or it can be too expensive.
It depends on the company that you're using as well to do all of that. So there are a lot of companies out there that won't charge you X amount versus, other companies that will be like, oh yeah, you got to pay us like $300,000 for us to do all this.
So which means basically what you're saying that you can basically get your own house plan, right? You can basically get your own house plan as you want on that land, how many acres you want.
Yeah.
And you give it to a company and say, I want you to build my house, that they can do that for you.
They will do that for you.
So because when you look at some of the complexes they have HOA that be in that area, will they allow you to build any kind of a design in that community? Or you have to consult the HOA like in that place to see if whatever design you want as a first-time buyer and brand new house first owner.
So you're talking about like a neighborhood that's already like developed, right?
I mean, because most of the time, the reason why I'm asking the question is that you're not just going to be passing see lands that won't be, it has to be approved. Well, so most of the land that people can buy to be brand new, the company already own that property and the building houses there, and you buy the lot, basically.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying, in the instance where that happened, can you tell them, because they go by how many acres they're selling, right? Can you tell them how many acres? Because some people don't want to live in 2,500 square foot. Some people want 35. Some people have people places in.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, can you go beyond what the company can afford to put over there? or you have to go within a range of the biggest square footage you can build on the land that you have?
You got to go within the range of the biggest square footage that you can do in that area. So it's not necessarily up to the HOA either. Not necessarily. HOA comes after the place is finished getting, improved and stuff. Then they put an HOA there so they can keep the place like clean and, keep people in order and stuff like that, right?
Got you.
So that the neighborhood doesn't just go to, waste or whatever, and start looking bad after a while. So that's why HOA is there. Even though I think they're a scam, but that's why HOA is there. But for you to get, like, let's say you want to build a bigger house than the other houses that are in the neighborhood, well, then you got to take that to the city. The city got to approve that. You got to get a permit. If they approve it,
you can put your house there.
Go ahead.
So now that you told us about the advantage of building a house from scratch, and you say you will recommend that people build a house from scratch, what is the disadvantage in finding a house that was already built and have been having owners, and maybe the owner decided to sell it, or the bank decided to sell it? What is the disadvantage in that?
Yeah, so
I mean, when you're giving your perspective, I want you to do for both issue and if in the convention to see what is the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Why people can get, why can you go somebody put in the idea because they develop it correct and you can get buy instead of waiting for 6 months to pay it? What's the disadvantage in that?
Yeah, so let's start with the new home builders.
Yeah.
Right? These companies that are building these new homes, and then people go and buy the brand new homes
and live in it.
Yeah, and live in it. So the disadvantage with that is that when you're buying those homes, they're overpriced, right? Because those people then, when they built that home, again, it was building equity, and then the whole time before you buy that house, it was just sitting on there. Again, it was building equity as it's sitting on there. So you go and buy it. The people don't want to make that money.
They won't make profit.
They won't make profit. So the equity that in the house, they want to take it too. So that's why you're seeing the new homes are more expensive. The new built homes are more expensive. So because the people didn't want to take everything out of there. So you're starting with no equity with an overpriced house. So after you buy the house now, then the price or the worth of the house go down. But the worth of the house was already down. It's just that they wouldn't overprice it because they wanted to take their equity out, right? Okay, so that's with a new home built.
Gotcha.
Now, a house that's been built a long time ago.
Okay, yes, that one comes. That one,
and
not new.
Multiple people then live inside, and then
maybe one of the others have to sell it.
Right. So the disadvantage with that is that something breaking there, you don't know. You don't know if that you don't want to break all that.
But what is the appraiser then for?
Sometimes appraiser can miss things.
Okay.
So appraiser can miss things.
Yeah. So listen, I'm just
so disadvantages with that. Like you're looking at. I mean, there are more advantages to it than there are disadvantages to houses like that. But the disadvantages with that is that they break down easily. You got to fix more things than inside of there than you would if you get a newer home. Yeah, or than you would if you build your own home from scratch. So a lot of things can go wrong with a house that's been sitting on there. But a lot of things can go right because you can get a lot of seller concessions and all that stuff. A lot of people don't know that if it's doing like the inspection period, you don't go tell the people and say, "Oh, fix it." Don't just jump to do it, because a lot of people can do. A lot of buyers do that, and then people then go and fix it. Now your inspection period over. It ends right there, right? You want to wait until the inspection period finish, and then you tell them and say, "Okay." You don't want to tell them say you want them to fix it. You want them to give you the concession, so that when the house closes, or they can bring down the price of the house, right?
Then you fix it yourself.
And then you fix it yourself. And with more money in your pocket. Yeah.
Wow. So when all the process is going on, I know you say before you can go and meet to decide to buy the house, you must meet the landlord first so they can pre-approve you, pre-qualification, everything before you meet a realtor. Yes. Now, is it better to go through a realtor to buy the house or go through a bank?
That's a good question. So here's the thing. It's best to go through a realtor.
Why?
The reason is because, well, for one, if you're trying to do it yourself, the banks just give you the loan, right? That's all they do, right? Or let's say they foreclose on somebody and stuff like that, and you're trying to get the house from the bank so that you can be able to live in it and all that stuff. Well, that's a way, yes, but like it's a process, because let's say the person comes back on their loan, right? They come back on their loan. Now you finish paying about $10,000 in the court with the bank, so that way you can get it. Now the person come back on their loan because they get about 90 days, right, to come back. But now they come back and now you're not getting the house anymore, right? So it's best to go to the realtor. Will make sure the process is smooth for you. The realtor will keep you informed. Things then that you don't know that can go wrong, the realtor already knows what can go wrong, right? The realtor already knows if someone's trying to cheat you and stuff. The bank can cheat you. They don't care. Here's what I'm saying. But the realtor already knows, like, if somebody's trying to cheat you, so that way they don't, allow you to go through the hassle of getting that type of heartache and regret and all that stuff after you finish buying a house. You're just sitting down there like, man, I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have known that. But the realtor could have prevented that. You see?
So let me ask you now, in the instance where you explaining about the person can go back on the loan. So this brings me to this question right here, right?
Yeah.
Do you lose your owner's money if the loan is not approved? Because if the person go back, let's say for example, before if you put your owner's money and everything, and the person go back on it, will they give your owner's money, your down payment, everything back to you?
So you put your owner's money down, right? And then a lot of people don't know that your pre-qualification is not qualification. It's not the actual loan. It's just showing you a projection of
So what you qualify for?
what you can do. What you can do. You see what I'm saying? How much you're capable of doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that is based on your credit bureau report and all that.
Credit
like you said.
and your income.
Okay.
You see. So now let's say we find a house, you like it, you're gonna put your honest deposit down. Now we're going to the lender so that we can get an actual loan for that subject property. Right? Well, there has to be a clause in there in the contract that says that just in case the buyer is unable to qualify for a loan, just in case, legally he's able to back out, the earnest deposit can go back to him.
Okay, let me ask you a question, because I was doing some research that buyers can include a financing contingency in their purchase contract.
That's the contingency I was talking about.
Okay, so potentially out of the deal and have the earnest money refunded if financing cannot be secured.
Exactly.
Now I understand why they say that. Wow. So what do I need to qualify for a down payment or grant?
A grant.
Yeah, because some people can say you can get grant. What do you need to do to get qualify for a grant for like a house? Can they give you a house? Can you qualify? Is there a program where you can qualify for a grant to pay for your whole house?
For the whole house?
Yeah, let's say your whole 500,000 or 600,000.
No, I've never seen such a grant. If you find it, please let me know. But a question like that though is really for the lenders. The lenders will be able to answer stuff like that more because they work on that side of things, and they're the ones who actually, get people down payment assistance and all that stuff.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, when you buy a house, I always hear the terms when they're looking at your credit and your income. They say debt to ratio. You ever heard that term?
Yeah, debt to income ratio.
Debt to income ratio. Can you explain to my people, how does this debt to income ratio affect your ability to actually get approved for the house? So can you explain what that debt to income ratio, where does it have to be? What does it do?
Yeah, so let's say a person is making $10,000 a month.
Okay.
Right? Cut that in half.
5,000.
5,000. So the lenders are looking at the 5,000. Now they're also looking at all of your bills that you pay. Right? All the bills
that you pay when you're in the house, or that you pay personally?
Presently right now.
Okay.
So out of that 5,000, because now the other 5,000, we're not really thinking about it anymore. We're just thinking about this other half now.
Okay.
Right? And this 5,000, we're looking at all your bills that you're paying. Okay, you have your house rent or your apartment rent, wherever you're living right now. And then you have your car payment. Most people have car payments.
Okay.
If you don't, congratulations. And I commend you for that.
Okay.
And then some people, the phone.
Okay.
So all the bills that you have, everything goes into this 5,000, right? Now, Out of that, then we're looking at like, okay, how much is remaining
For the second 5,000.
for that second 5,000?
Okay.
How much is remaining? If it's like a good amount, like at least like 2,000 remaining and stuff like that, then we can say, yeah, you know what? Their debt to income ratio is actually pretty good and stuff like, but this question though is really good for the lender. They're the ones who actually look at these things. We, the realtor, we help you in the buying process or the selling process. So that way you can get as a seller, you can get the most out of the house, or as a buyer, somebody doesn't try to rip you off. And also you don't make a mistake, buying a house, selling a house, short sales, all that.
Wow. Now, thank you so much, Mr. Gaie. I hope you guys getting this particular education from real estate properties and the difference when he talking about lenders and buyers. Now, you said you are also an investor into real estate.
Invest in real estate.
You're investing in real estate, which means you're buying. Are you one of those people, or you are helping people that who can go around buy old property, put the money to fix it and sell it? Is that the kind of thing you're doing?
That's the type of investment I'm talking about. So
educate.
It's called fix and flip. So there's different types of real estate investing.
Okay.
There's the wholesaling, which is the amateur part, where you cold call people, you skip trace, right? Skip tracing is like you see a house, right? And then this website is called Skip Trace. You put in the house address. It tells you like the name of the owner and everything. It has their information that you can call them. You can call them and like, tell them, hey, I have a cash buyer that would like to offer like, cash on your house like right now. But you have to give me a contract so that way I can, give the contract to my cash buyer and stuff. That's wholesaling. Now, let's say they give you the house for 300,000, right? The contract. You're not putting any money inside of it.
The buyer putting money there.
Exactly. The investor
who want to buy it.
Exactly. So the wholesaling is you're getting a contract with no money. Then you're giving it to the investor.
Okay.
Right? So I get it for 300,000. Then the investor is here. I was like, okay, well, I'm giving you this contract for 310,000. The investor takes it. I let the title company know that I'm relinquishing my right to buy this house, that this person is the one who's going to buy. So the investor and the seller, they close together, right? Now I get my pay, I get 10,000 out of it. So I just bought a house without putting money down. So that's wholesaling. That's the amateur side of real estate investing.
Okay.
Now the other side of it is
where you buy the old house if it's now.
You buy cash.
But how you getting the money now?
You get hard money loan, or you get private money lenders. Private money lenders is like, let's say I have a friend, he has money, and I tell him about this house. I was like, man, this house here, I'm trying to get it. Let me put a packet together so you can understand how much money I'm looking to make out of this and how long I'm looking to, take to be able to rehab this house when I get it. Right. Wow. So that private money lender looks at it. It's like, okay, well then let me loan you some money. Let me loan it to you, but I want to put 13% interest on it though. So that way, when you're taking too long, I'm still making money on top of it. Or if you default on your payment and stuff, then, I will own it. Then I know how much I'll make out of it too. So now that's how it works. And they give you the money, you go and get the house, fix it up, and then you relist it.
So this is my thing.
Or you put it up for rent.
So how do you determine, right, the expenditure in fixing that house versus what you want to borrow or invest into that house?
Yes, that's a good question. So the first thing I do when I go into a house, right, I look at the roof, I look at the AC, I look at the windows, I look at the flooring, I look at these basic things. And I also look at the ceiling. Some houses, they have popcorn ceiling.
You got to break it down to my people.
Popcorn ceiling is like, you look at the ceiling and it look like small mountain there that's sticking out,
Like the heat trying to bust through it.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about,
yeah. So that's popcorn ceiling. Those are old school.
Okay.
It's not part of the trend anymore. I also look at the market value in that area. Not only that, then I look at a comparison house. So if there's a house that look exactly like this in every neighborhood, there's house that look exactly like the other one.
Correct.
You
Same
gotta,
design.
You gotta find it. We call that the comps.
Okay.
You gotta find the comps. Now, if they are more renovated than this house that you're going into, now you just look at how much they bought this house for, or how much they're selling this house for if it's listed. Okay, so let's say I got this house for 300,000, but the comparison to this house is looking at 415,000.
Correct.
So now I look at all the features that this house have, and I copy it into this house. You see, I copy it here so that this house can be worth 415,000, just like this one. So now I just profited $115,000.
So basically, what you're trying to say is that you look at a similar house with similar design or maybe similar style, and that house what been saying that nobody been saying everything damaged. I got to fix it to that level now. So what you do like an estimate on everything that you need to fix there.
Yeah, it's called running your numbers.
Running your numbers. Okay.
Yes.
We are not real estimate. You tell my people that running your numbers. So when you do the running numbers, now you add all together at time that you can go down.
Yeah. So you got it.
So how do you gotta be flipping the horses around here?
Yeah, it's really that, and you don't. It's not. You're not really using your own. If you're getting a hard money loan is when they got to look at your credit, right? They got to look at your credit. They got to look at the house and see how much they can profit out of it too. But the difference is private money doesn't, because it's just a relationship thing. Hard money is you're going to the bank and the bank just got to look at your credit. Private bank.
So which one now that they ain't got to look at your credit?
Private money.
So the private money, who you get it from?
You get it from like a friend. Wow. It can be a co-worker, say,
to invest in you.
To invest in them.
I mean, who the friend you know now will look at some Mr. Gaie or Bollietv now will be 300,000 feet out. Let's get money back from it.
You got a network. You got a network. There are people everywhere.
Wow, Mr. Gaie is very interesting that we're getting some education on the first-time home buyer and buying houses and all that thing. Now, let me ask this question. Somebody just sent this question. I wanted to know. What are some of the things that you, let's say if you have a credit, that you think that may affect your credit to stop you from getting the house? And what are some of the things you can do to fix it?
That's a good question, because a lot of people, when they start the process, they go and just get like a car. Yeah, it's good to get a car, but now that car that you want to go get is just put a hard inquiry.
So you don't want no points coming from there.
You don't want any points coming out. Even if the people that tell you say it's gonna be a soft pull.
Don't do it.
They will say soft pull, but it's still taking something down. Correct. Don't get anything at all
until that closing is done.
Until you close, you get a key. It's been at least a week after you get everything. Until then, you can go and get all that. You can get your credit card. You can get that brand new car that you wanted to get. You can get whatever you want afterwards. But when you start the process, do not do anything that will hurt your credit. Best way to build your credit. There's a guy I know. The company is called My Credit Guy. His name is Eric. Yeah, in Gilbert. And that man, he helped people build their credit. You go and dispute things for them. And I normally send my clients then to him to dispute things on their credit. Oh wow! The lender can also tell you different ways on how you can fix your credit and stuff too, because they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Have you ever had a client where the lender told them what the closing costs would be, and then time for them to actually go to the day before they went to close on the loan, the amount they're supposed to put down change?
I haven't really
But have you heard of that before? Because some people have experienced that where they told them that this is the amount you need to come with closing cost, down payment, everything, right? Now the person got ready to go close on the loan. They called and they said they need to come out with extra $20,000.
I mean, it's not impossible. It can happen.
And what instances of course that happen?
It's rare. It's rare to happen, right? But let's say, for example, the seller paid so many things. They paid the taxes, they paid the insurance and everything, and then now the buyer is debited what the seller paid. So now the seller got to get credited, right? So now in the closing cost, that amount is there. You see what I'm saying? On top of other fees and stuff that are supposed to go there too. So now they're like, okay, there's an additional $3,000 that you gotta put down towards the closing cost, because we gotta credit the seller for paying all these other things before you get into this house. So that's the only instance that this can happen. But again, for the most part, when buying a home, it's the buyer who mostly gets credit.
Now, let's say, what have you ever saw? Can you give my audience and us some instances where you have seen lenders or even realtor crook some people? And what are the things you think people should watch out for when they buy a horse, whether it be brand new horse or horse that was owned before? What are some of the things people should watch out for if you're going to give any advice? Because I know some people, they are naive to buying properties, right? They're naive to buying horse. They just see a fine horse and support use the ignorance to take advantage of them. What are some of the things, if you were advising my audience today, that they should pay attention to when they're trying to get a house? From realtor, whether you're coming from realtor or the lender, yeah, you work in the field, and so now suppose some other people them they can't speak English too good. They see the person working, some of the people working 2 jobs, doing the credit card payments on time. They see it and they want to take advantage because it happens before. You remember in 2008 when the housing market was dropping, that some of the things they know very well, the person can't afford the house, But now, even though it changed now, they want to make sure they verify everything about you before they give you the house. But what are some of the things you think people still doing that scamming people and putting them into debt or lying to them and just taking heavy money from them? What about that down payment? So it'll be small or so they come about small amount.
Yeah.
What they need to watch out for? What are some of the probing questions they need to ask to make sure that person is in the interest?
So as the lender or the seller of the house?
So this is what it depends now, because you said before a person can even think about buying a house, the first thing they should get pre-approved to the lender. And then once they get pre-approved, they come to the realtor. So I'm saying, is there any teaching moment that you can give or educate us on anything that you think they might scam some of our people? Because some people will take advantage of people if they know you're not open to what you're doing. That either you can be a realtor or you can be a lender. What are some of the things you can give advice that you think my audience can listen and watch out for when the lender or the realtor is not doing this correct? They should have a red flag.
Yeah. I'll focus more on like the realtor side, because with the lenders and stuff, that's their thing. Like I don't really focus too much on that, but I haven't really seen anything with that. With realtors and stuff, honestly, I haven't really seen much, but some people just want to make money.
Yeah.
Some people just want to make money. So there's been instances where some people will not tell their sellers that I think your house might be overpriced. I think it might be, and that's why people are not buying. But it's up to you. It's up to you wherever you want to list it. But you see what I'm saying? Because some realtors can run the comps for you and tell you, like me, I can run the comps in the area for you and be like, the comparison of this house in this area is going for this. Although you have your appraiser, you have, again, but I'm just like telling you, it's just my opinion. We can give broker opinion.
Okay.
But I'm not appraising the house for you.
Got you.
I'm just telling you my opinion. Also, I'd like to advise my buyers then too, like, hey, so, when you're looking at the home, let's also look at some comparisons. Let's look at the roof. Let's look at the AC. Make sure you see the date on the AC.
Okay.
Let's look at the windows. How old are the windows? Let's look at the ceiling. Like I talked about,
Yeah.
as an investor,
You call it the popcorn. Is that what the popcorn ceiling?
popcorn ceiling. A little popcorn. I tell people like pay attention to all those small things there. And I can send you the comps so you can look at it too, so that way you can be well informed. And then your appraiser can also look at its stuff then too, and they can tell you, okay, this is the worth, right? And you can also talk with your appraiser like, hey, so how did you come up with this? Because I'm looking at this. The appraiser got some of them not know what they're doing. So you gotta know what you're doing.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not gonna go to the appraiser for you to say, you gotta go to the appraiser. You see,
So you guys really, I'm sorry for cutting you off. So you guys are the one that really look for the property for the client.
we look for the property.
Mm-hmm.
We send it to you. You just tell me like what you like in the house. What type of house? You like 2-story? You like 1-story? How many square foot are we looking at? Do you like a big backyard or small?
Because I can see some people, yeah, go get, they can say my relative to me, I'm yeah, buy, they can get this small house, and so people want to live with each other, can't buy anywhere.
Yeah, and the house is like expensive. Right?
Yeah, expensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the realtor want to make money.
Oh, so they just lie to the people.
Yeah.
Got you. Well, Mr. Gaie, man, I really like the education here today about housing market and now, what can cause a housing market to drop? Now, how the market now? Is the interest rate dropping or the Fed still carrying it up?
Well, the federal rate went down. Right.
Okay.
The federal rate went down, I think, to 4.6%, I believe.
For housing?
Just
general.
Generally speaking.
Okay.
Yeah. So the federal rate went down. So that means that, the housing market, since the monthly rate will be lower, that means that the price of the houses will go up. And we're looking at houses like prices then going up pretty soon.
So basically, they reduce the interest rate, but they still get it back through the money one pay.
Yeah, so we're not looking forward to the price of homes decreasing. We're looking forward to it even increasing actually, because the more so for example, right, if I can get into a $600,000 house knowing that I can only pay $2,000 a month, you gotta be getting into a $600,000 house.
Now
You're not gonna be paying $2,000 a month. That's very low.
You're probably looking at around about $4,000.
Almost $4,000.
Almost $4,000, yeah.
So if I can get into a $600,000 house and be paying about $2,000 or $2,500 a month and stuff on my mortgage, I'm like, this is doable. I don't care.
But then it does not even include electricity and all the other utilities.
Exactly. So it would become a seller's market again, because the sellers now start jacking up their house
so they can get money. So right now, what market are we in? The buyer's market or the seller's market now?
Right now is neutral.
Everybody come now.
Right.
They may not come to California and buy all the houses that chilling now.
Exactly. But I would say now is the best time for buyers to buy, because later on, you don't want to be fighting with offers here and there. This person putting an offer, then you gotta beat their offer.
Offers then
you gotta beat that one offer. Right now is the perfect time to do so. I want to advise people to work on your credit. Work on your credit. If you don't want to get a credit card, there's a company called Kick Off. I tell people about it. Kick Off, you can get they can report credit to the credit bureaus for you, but you don't actually have an actual credit card.
So how they do that then?
So it's like a thing where you're putting money into it, right? $10 every month. At the end of the year, there will be $120. You will take that $120 out. So it's basically a savings that's building your credit. And it looks like credit. They'll report that you have $2,000 or $2,500 credit limit to the credit bureau. They can do that.
So you said what's the name of the company?
Kick Off.
Kick Off.
Kick Off.
So what is the requirement to enroll into Kick Off?
There's no requirement.
So you just call them up and tell them you want to enroll.
Yeah, or you can just go online and just fill it out.
And you have to be putting your own money, $10 there, but they will tell you where date to put it in.
You can choose your own plan and stuff.
Is there fees involved?
The fees is the monthly payment you're paying, which is coming right back to you.
Oh, wow. Now, does the environment or the community that house is in have any effect on the price of the house or insurance?
Absolutely. So let's say the area is like a flood hazard area, right? A potential flood hazard. Like if it rains, that place can get flooded. That house can get damaged because of a flood. The insurance is going to be higher. The price of that house is going to be lower.
So what if it's an area like it's crime, drugs infested?
Yeah. So the price of that house again will be lower because of the area. That's environmental defect.
Has impact on the price of the house.
Yes.
So basically, what would be your advice to people when they're looking for a house as to when it comes to community, where to move your children or what house? You don't just see the house looking big, then you say you want it because it's there.
Yeah, the best thing, although I personally don't like HOA, but I will advise people to get a house in a HOA community because they keep the community looking good. They can keep it peaceful. They can get the proper security in the area to make the place safe. And then also, they don't allow, HOA does not allow homes to just go like damaged and stuff. They'll talk to the owner like, hey, you got to fix your home because it's in violation of the community, or else we'll fine you, So now it's keeping the price and worth of those other homes high because, again, as an investor, we look for the damaged homes that decrease in the price or the worth of other houses in the area. We fix that house to bring it up. It helps the whole community. So if you're in an area and there's a house next to you that's like damaged and the worth of it is lower than your own, the worth of your house can get lower because of that house that's next to you.
So your next door neighbor,
it can depreciate yours
because it made it look ugly.
Exactly.
Mr. God, man, it was nice sitting with you here today. And my people, this is why Bollitv is in this community. We will keep bringing these kind of discussions to the community and people who are listening. There are good things happening in Arizona too. Yeah, I'm sitting down here with a young man. I'm shining spotlight on this man. He's here lecturing us about houses, how to get involved into buying houses. What is the best thing to do when you're buying houses? Who to meet first, what to do first. How to choose area, what to do. And Mr. Guy, so how do you want, let's say if you're looking for a house now in the area in Arizona, since we're in Arizona, we'll talk about Arizona.
Yeah.
How do you check on the community to see whether that community is correct or not? Is there a website you can go to, or how can you educate my people to look when you want to buy a house and you want to know the good area, I mean, can you tell my people how now? Let my audience get some tips. Yeah, I mean, you not do all. You usually invest in the old houses, so you mean not going every community. So community buy, you go there, you buy the whole your face, and you're selling for good price. Now you left on that place, you keep the place. No, I won't be doing one bit. No. So say you been on both sides of the wall.
Yeah.
Lecture my people, tell them that educate. Just give her 1 million of education as to how you can determine the area. Because some people got children, they want to move to gang infested, drugs environment, or place that tomorrow when they try to sell a house, they won't be able to get any equity because the neighbor who buy, the value of that house just depreciating every time because of the community. So I mean, give my people tips because so they can know when they buy houses, you need to go say, then you go there.
Yeah. That's good.
There's a reason why that house been sitting there for long. Yeah. Because I remember one time, one of my men was looking for a house. The house had been on the market for over 3 years.
Yeah.
Nobody want to buy it. The neighborhood was not necessarily bad, but the house just sitting down there. What do you think it costs that sometimes?
Well, sometimes, it can be that house itself is like probably stigmatized, right? There's probably like a report about that house somewhere. Everything is public information. So there's probably a public report somewhere for that house stating that this and this happening there, or maybe it was a drug lab before. And a lot of people, when they think about drug lab and stuff,
ghosts in there.
Ghosts, so the house becomes stigmatized, right? And then if no one buys it after a while, it becomes condemned. Well, no one wants to buy it because of the public report. So there's public reports out there. You can go on the county assessor website, Maricopa County assessor website, wherever county you're in, and you can check out the public report in the area.
Wow. Well, let's go back to what we're saying. Give our people tip as to how they can set about the neighborhood research or what they can do before they get a house. Because some people then they just say, oh, that hot beat. And when you go there and different things are happening, your daughter or your son start coming with bad behavior, then all that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you will advise my people before we come to the closing of this program? That will give you your time to do your closing.
Yeah,
But let's
sure.
hear that tips first.
You can talk to your realtor and you can tell them to send you a market analysis of the place that where you're trying to,
The community for
the
that.
community.
Oh, okay.
So the realtor can actually get a market analysis put together for you, so you can see like what you're looking at in the community, even the type of jobs that the people do in the community. You'll be able to see it.
Schools and all.
Schools, everything. And as a matter of fact, it's all on my website as well. Even if you go on my website, you'll click on where it says
We will come to your website. You will give that information in this interview.
so that the realtor can get everything for you. But talk to your realtor.
You said what they should ask
what
them.
type of subdivision
Yeah, you said what they should ask the realtor to do. That make sure they can hear it clear. Repeat
to
yourself.
get a market analysis
A market analysis of the community that
of the community.
your future community that you think you may move in.
Yeah.
Your
We
ideal
call
community.
that the subdivision.
Okay,
So
so
ask your realtor for market analysis for that subdivision,
that area period.
that area.
All right, Mr. Gaie, I'm going to give you a minute to do your closing. Thank you so much for granting me this permission, and we really look forward to it. Look, if you're watching this video and you're trying to get a house, first time home buyer, or you bought a house before, look nowhere. Mr. Gaie, before you do your closing, I want you to slowly give your website, how they can find you, and everything to my people, and then you can just include all your 1 minute closing.
Yeah. My website is www.elijah, Gaie, Gaie, .bhsaz.com. Again, that's www.elijahgaie.bhsaz.com. You go in there, you'll find all of the homes that are listed with our company and with me, and I'll also have the market analysis for any subdivision that you want, and you'll be able to look at how the market is trending as well. I like to keep every person informed, especially first-time home buyers. I like to keep you informed about how the market is trending right now, so you can know when to hop in and when not to. But I like to advise that right now is the best time to buy a house, because again, things are about to get pretty crazy later on. It's going to become a seller's market. My name is Elijah Gaie. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway. I'm also a real estate investor, along with being a professional realtor myself. So it's a pleasure speaking with you guys and educating everyone on what I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Mr. Gaie. It was a great pleasure sitting down with you. Once again, thanks for granting Bollitv this interview. And if you want a house or you want to talk to anybody about getting the house, whether it be first-time home buyer or you're looking into investing or selling your house, Mr. Gaie here is the right man to come to. This has been the Bollitv production. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.